Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Mecca, the direction of prayer for all Muslims around the world. Every year, millions of pilgrims make their way to Saudi Arabia. Their destination, the Kaaba, the house of God. Rising next to the central shrine is an architectural masterpiece of the highest order, the tallest clock tower in the world.
If you build a clock tower in Mecca, you cannot just download a blueprint somewhere off the internet.
The massive construction project presents the engineers with an enormous challenge. With only 4 years to build it, the time frame is tight.
In the morning, if there's a revision, in the afternoon, it should be applied at site. The schedule is so tight.
Construction firms from 10 countries are taking part in this building project for Saudi Arabia. The design and the clock mechanism come from Germany.
As the dimensions grew bigger, we thought at first we must have got off at the wrong station, but eventually it turned into reality.
The huge clock mechanism drives a hand 23 meters in length, 98 million mosaic stones with 24-karat gold leaf and 2 million LEDs adorn the outer facade. The highlight? The Hilal, a crescent at the tip of the tower with a prayer room inside.
We are in a height of 600 meters and wind will be our biggest enemy.
A further complication the European construction companies have to contend with is that only Muslims can enter the construction area on the holy site. Only in the final stages of development does it become clear that the building exceeds all expectations and breaks over 30 world records. The architecture firm SL Rasch near Stuttgart, Germany, received the contract from Saudi Arabia at a time no one expected.
In the late autumn 2006, at Christmas in fact, came a call from Saudi Arabia asking whether we could build a clock tower on top of the tower in Mecca.
The firm pitched 107 design ideas for the client to choose from. But is the construction project achievable?
There were sleepless nights while these issues remained unsolved. Your mind goes in circles until you have a solution.
The problem is that the clock tower cannot weigh more than 82,000 tons, the weight at which the maximum load-bearing capacity of the foundation is reached. The construction workers are already working 24/7. Structural engineer Guido Ludischer searches for a solution that offers optimal weight distribution.
The challenge for us was to raise a high-rise building designed to be 450 meters high to up to over 600 meters. This was only possible using a highly efficient steel construction.
The Eiffel Tower served as a model to the engineers, a steel composite construction capable of bearing and evenly distributing all the weight. But who can build the frame in a location that only Muslims can enter?
Mecca and Medina are called the Haramain, the two forbidden cities. They are closed to non-Muslims, but there are 1.5 billion Muslims in the world, so you're sure to find someone for everything.
The architect gets a lucky break. A steel company manufactures the parts in Turkey and installs the supports on site in Saudi Arabia. A sigh of relief back in Germany. But there are more than 1.5 billion Muslims worldwide. Once in their lifetime, believers are obliged to make the journey of Hajj to Mecca. This traditional pilgrimage is one of the 5 pillars of Islam enshrined in the Holy Quran. Each year, over 3 million believers travel to the holy site. The starting point is the Al-Masjid Al-Haram Mosque. Within lies the central shrine, the house of God. For centuries, Muslims all around the world have directed their prayers towards the Kaaba. In the circumambulation ceremony, the Tawaf, pilgrims circle the Kaaba 7 times. This act is a very traditional form of prayer. Is it possible to even build a clock tower that's 35 times bigger than Big Ben in London?
This clock is by far the tallest in the whole world. We couldn't refer back to anything. We were in completely new territory.
The architects examine the aerodynamic characteristics of the clock tower. They want to know what kind of wind forces will act upon the giant clock face. The results show that with winds of 200 kilograms per square meter come forces of 300 tons. This amounts to a weight equal to 10 trucks. At these speeds, the clock hands will shake. A dangerous risk in a clock tower 500 meters high. The team must also consider sudden changes in weather patterns. In addition to scorching desert heat, Mecca is also subject to torrential rains and thunderstorms. But how do you fix and secure a clock hand to withstand climatic conditions?
There was a lot of discussion, an external drive or an internal drive. We thought up a variety of concepts for the clock drive. Initially, we mounted the clock hands in the middle and fixed them at the periphery to a cart that then travelled round in a circle.
But this system carried a risk. The drive requires maintenance.
The challenge was driving the hands from the center. This way the drive would last for decades, even possibly centuries. You don't want anything that's designed for 3 years and then that's just thrown away.
The result of their research led to the biggest and strongest clock mechanism in the world. Construction is in its final stages. The 4 clock faces, complete with hands, have been installed. The hotel complex at the center of the holy site is nearly finished as well.
Our aim from the day one is to climb up at this height with structural steel.
The building now towers over 580 meters into the air. Here, the welders make their final seams. There is relief amongst the engineers.
You can feel the height, you can feel the excitement, you can feel the honor of the success.
The huge construction project is almost completed. There are just a few weeks now until the opening. The design should do justice to this holy location.
Every mosque has a minaret. And the minarets of the mosque in Mecca, everybody knows. So I would say the tower clock is the minaret of Mecca.
Every mosque is adorned with the symbol of the Prophet, the Hilal, a crescent. This extremely heavy construction now needs to be installed on the spire.
When we install the Hilal, this will be the highlight and the cream on the cake, and it will be also the most difficult part of the whole job.
The last test installation in Dubai before the crescent begins its journey to Mecca. The Hilal is unique in its construction. The centerpiece of the tower is clad in gold mosaic tiles. Inside, there is a prayer room, which will later be enthroned on the building at a height of 600 meters. Hard work for the riggers who have never toiled at such dizzying heights. The opening is drawing near. The men must install over 2 million LEDs in record time. It's still unknown whether the lighting concept is right or whether all the LEDs will actually work on the day of the opening. The first test is a success. Nervous tension before the last important stage of construction. The golden crescent must be installed at a height of 600 meters. Several riggers are ready for action.
We don't have a lot of possibilities to control the part when we lift it, and wind will be our biggest enemy.
Wind strength reaches a critical level. The part begins to rotate and proves hard to control. Anxious moments for the workers inside the crescent. The wind continues to blow non-stop. The installation is in danger of failure. The only solution is to get the men on a viewing platform to stabilize the part with ropes and sheer brute force. A massive show of strength. Precision work at 600 meters in the air. And then, finally, it's done. The part can be bolted down. The wind recedes. Once the tip of the moon is in place, work is completely finished. A final check by all those involved. And from this moment on, the intense pressure of the last years is gone. A giant crescent is enthroned over the holy site. With its completion, yet another world record has fallen. The highest prayer room in the world now sits over Mecca. After years of construction, the huge tower is finished. The giant 43-meter wide clock faces alone are visible from a distance of 8 kilometers. The Clock Tower of Mecca, an architectural masterpiece. Religion meets science. Mecca is the heart and the direction of prayer. It is the place to which the hearts of all believers yearn to go. Thousands of pilgrims descend on the center of the holy site for the opening of the complex. From now on, the Makkah Clock Tower provides Muslims all over the world with the exact time. All the religious acts are related to time. Our prayers, Hajj, Zakat, and all the actions in our lives are performed at specific times. The modern design is inspired by the traditional Arabic art of ornamentation. The Mecca clock has become a minaret for the entire city and its surroundings. It's a modern milestone that we can feel proud of. The Mecca Clock project has been completed. It includes 4 clocks on all 4 sides of the tower and the King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Center for Crescent Observation and Astronomy. We ask Your Highness to inaugurate the clock project and announce the establishment of the Mecca time. In the name of God the Beneficent, the Merciful, with God's blessing. Work is completed. After 4 years of construction, the world's tallest clock tower stands in Mecca. The hilal at the top of the tower shines in bright gold. The prayer room inside the crescent is reserved for a few high-ranking dignitaries. But for all pilgrims in Mecca, it is known that prayers in the holy city count 100,000-fold. This makes the clock tower not only a triumph of science and engineering, but also a new and profound religious symbol for Muslim believers worldwide.